Hello and welcome to Tangerine Fallout. I've played 120 hours of Fallout New Vegas and then the bad one. Let's go. Uh,
It's
one of
all
the
the
bad ones.
Fallouts.
Yeah.
Can we just review all the Fallouts at once? Is that? We didn't review stuff
I've
actually.
never
Can we
played
just
Fallout
finish
1 or
it?
2, so
Right.
unfortunately
Well,
not.
Yeah,
launch it
just
now.
go back and play it. Yep, play it now.
I'm gonna rip out my hair if I play. I feel like
Yeah,
it's
that's
one of
fair.
those things where
Yeah, you're
it's
gonna waste 100 hours.
yeah.
Soft like yourself.
Because you've
Well,
played
it's New
the
Vegas.
you've played the Interplay original Fallout games, haven't you, Wave?
Yeah, I've played most of the games. I haven't played like Tactics and Brotherhood of
Hmm,
Steel because I heard they were trash and they don't
right.
look great. But yeah, 1 and 2 are good. It's be hard to go back and play it
Yeah.
now unless you're really into that. But yeah, no, they're good games. But also, when did you guys start introducing yourselves? I liked it when you were just having a random conversation.
Well, the problem is I asked Tony to make timestamps, and Tony can only make timestamps if I tell him exactly when I hit record.
Yeah.
I know, but I still feel like it should start with you talking about something
Well, we're
completely
talking about
random.
shit now, so.
Yeah, maybe
I
just move
always
this to the start of the video. New timestamp, Tony.
new
Right.
So second
timestamp.
cheese facts.
Yeah.
Kasumaratsu is fucking disgusting. I don't know if you
Oh,
guys.
is there cheese on the moon? Agree or disagree?
Um,
Yes.
yes, there is probably some
There's
form
no
of
who's
cheese.
Yeah,
just there
there it
isn't.
is.
I'm not
There it
willing to
is.
go out on a limb and say that it's entirely made of cheese,
No, that's definitely
Right.
not true. That's a myth.
but I would like to believe that there's some
We
there.
should probably talk about New Vegas. I said to Tony I could probably make a half-an-hour video just about the radio in
Yeah.
New Vegas,
Yeah.
which I can't let you
Oh
listen
my
to.
god. You can't show a stripper.
She's got pasties on. She's got pasties.
Get off the
I
screen.
don't have the good mods. All the strippers have got pasties on. I'm afraid, Tony. So
Okay. You have
yeah,
the good parts.
yeah.
That's not what we're calling them.
So this is modded, New Vegas, but it's modded just to make it run. It's pretty much just
Yeah.
with
Patches, right? Like
Bethesda
fixes and
games. Yeah, you just need like the unofficial patches, and then I've got
yeah.
like a ENB thing to add a
Fix the
high
lighting.
resolution textures onto the game to
Yeah.
make it look a bit better. One
I
bug I
thought you
did.
had to doesn't even fix the lighting engine slightly as well, like it wasn't that makes it look
Yeah,
more
there's tons of
stable.
stuff that you can do to fix up New Vegas. I wouldn't recommend playing it unmodded, just given how much it
No,
usually crashes.
I've
Yeah,
tried
the
it once
anti-crash
and it
is
crashed immediately.
pretty essential.
It's like,
Like even with like the anti-crashes and all your performance upgrade, it still crashes a lot. But that's what you get from Bethesda, right?
I'm just gonna say now, just in case anyone wants. I've played 120 hours of Fallout main game, DLC, pretty much done most things. I would say in the game. This game's a
Right.
masterpiece. It's a masterpiece. It
So
is so
yeah,
good.
you got the hours to back that claim up, I think. So
Yeah, I'm not sure if I would say you've done everything because you've had one playthrough,
Yeah,
but
so I
you've
haven't
done a
done
lot. You've done a lot in your playthrough.
I haven't done Legion side, but that's one thing about this game that you'll come to realize is a lot of the Legion stuff is kind of cut back.
Baron.
Yeah, Baron, because how much time Obsidian actually had to make this game. If you don't know, Obsidian made New Vegas in like a year, which is fucking insane. Um, Obviously, they had some help from having the Fallout 3 assets, but just
yeah,
Yeah,
how
they
they
had
have
much.
the
done that.
engine and the
Yeah,
assets, but what was the development cycle for Fallout 3? That was like six
well, that
six
was that
years
was
or
the first
something.
Bethesda one. So
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought wait, are you counting at the concept phase though, Dave?
I don't
I
know.
thought it was a little bit less if you only include like actual like time like editing
Well,
the
because
engine.
I think if you've played like Fallout 3 and you've never played Fallout New Vegas, one of the big things you'll realize is it's not as black and white as Fallout 3. From playing Fallout
No,
3, Fallout 3 is very much these are the good guys, these are the bad guys, these are the good actions, and
yeah,
these are the bad
these are the good
actions.
options. These are the bad options. Yeah, Obsidian is like a massive like gray area kind of developer. Like that's why I really appreciate them. Like they really know how to just like here are all the options. Like you decide if they're good or not.
Hmm. And there are some actions in the game where they just won't affect karma, and you just have to live with your choices. There's some really well designed quests. Some of the side quests in this game could be like main quests in another game. It's just insane how much content is in this game. What else do I want to say? DLC is really good. I love the main story, and there's so many different ways you can go about it. In my playthrough, when I started my playthrough, I pretty much went NCR, and then I decided to go wildcard at the end because I was like, "That sounds fun."
Well, can you choose the side? Is it just like two factions you can choose?
Are we going into
No,
spoilers? Are we going into spoilers? Am I
Yeah,
giving
well-
spoilers on a 10-year-old?
Yeah,
game.
it's like 10 years old.
These aren't major spoilers though, are they? Like knowing what factions are.
No, not really. You got 4 factions. Like 2 of them are
Oh, it's
kind of
4. Okay.
the same.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
well,
there's
it's independent New Vegas, but whether Mr. House controls New Vegas or the player character does at the end.
so there's the NCR is the faction you will come into contact the most. They're the most
Yeah.
fleshed out faction across the wasteland. They're basically the Californian government, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. They
California.
started out in like the first Fallout in Shady Sands, and they just kept expanding and got more militaristic and bureaucratic.
They have like the if you've ever seen the California Republic flag with the bear, they have a double-headed bear, which is quite
that's
funny.
cool.
Like it's,
Yeah.
if you recognize the real flag it comes from. But yeah, because normally if you were playing like Fallout 3, you would have like the Brotherhood, and they'd be like, "Oh, we're the good guys. We want to get technology. We want to kill all the super mutants." But then like the NCR, like as much as they're like trying to help people, they also fuck over people a lot. Like,
Yeah.
um,
Don't they let ends justify the means sort of things going on?
Like throughout the entire game, there's the whole talk of like a fucking genocide that went down committed by them, and yeah, there's like lots of stuff like that where you feel like the ends justifies the means. There's no because there's side factions as well, because there's the Great Khans. There's the main
Is that about the quest that you try and like get them to like choose a side sort of thing?
Yeah. But the new Khans are basically like tribal drug dealers.
Okay. Are they bikers?
Yeah, they're like bikers.
Sort of, yeah.
Okay.
They're like really old school, like early Fallout tribes that still exist, but not to strength that they used to have.
Then there's the families of New Vegas. There's 3 of them that all own the big casinos. So inside New Vegas, there's more powers to come together, and you basically have a quest line for each casino you go into. Will basically have a quest line that forces you to interact with that family, whether you want to interact with them positively or negatively. There's some great quest lines to do with the families. I mean, the thing I love about this game is there's so much side content, but you honestly. The main story is still there, and it still makes you want to do it. Like,
well, isn't there like a lot of the side content like interacts with the main content?
Yes,
to a certain extent. Like that's why it's like interwoven. Like that's why I've heard a lot of people say.
So the start of the game, this isn't a spoiler because this is the start of the game. The start of the game, you get shot in the head. You're a courier.
Yeah, this is right at the start.
Yeah, this is literally the first thing you see in the game.
It's in the trailer as well.
It's the second part of the opening intro cinematic.
Yeah.
And the truth is, guys, the game was rigged from the start. I think playing this slot machine crashed my game, so I had to restart the recording. That was a bug I encountered.
It is very powerful.
But anyway, basically you have amnesia, so you're a character who's already made actions because you existed in the world, but you don't know them. Which really, really becomes interesting once you get to another one of the DLCs, which I won't spoil. Because oh my god, there's so much stuff I could talk about with this game. But yeah, that basically skips the whole like intro of Fallout 3 where you have to be a baby and you're like,
oh god,
I think there's literally
the good stuff.
I think there's literally a mod that skips the Fallout 3 intro because it's so bad.
Yeah. Was there any choices you can make in the intro that matter?
I think that's how you like pick stats
there's
and
one
stuff.
Choice.
There's
choice given to you about a companion you can have.
Yeah.
Right, but why? It could have
but
been
other than that,
at the start.
And
It's
there's
to do.
a
It's to do
small.
with the
So,
overseer, right?
well, there's Butch and that, but there's
Yeah.
also what you do with the overseer. That
Yeah.
because there's a quest. Like when you get halfway through the game, like when you've just done the Waters of Life, I think that's the one where your dad just gets killed by the Enclave. You get a radio message
That's a spoiler alert, guys, for
for a
Fallout
game
3.
from what 2008.
Yeah.
Well, Dave, I just played this game a few months ago, so
Yeah, but
and I didn't
I've
know
been
the
telling you to
spoilers.
play it for years.
It's a good game.
Well, Joni played it because of the Wheel of the Worst. So.
Okay, should we tell
Yeah.
people that I've had a list? I've been making lists for a long time of game I want to play, and I've just started putting it on a wheel and spinning the wheel, and whatever it lands on, that's the next game I play. You can see gambling's a huge part of my life now, guys. I'm a gambler now, so. And it just so happened that New Vegas rolled onto it, and I was like, well, I guess I'm playing New Vegas. Let's see what that's all about.
Yeah, you gamble to play a gambling game, I think.
Yeah, and you won.
I'm getting so sidetracked because
Yeah.
there's so much I can go into. The start of New Vegas, you get shot in the head. You need to figure out what
Who
happened,
shot
basically.
you? Why you were shot?
Yep. And what you were
What did you
carrying,
do?
because you're a courier.
Oh right, okay.
So the game throughout it's another great thing, and I believe one of the Obsidian developers, he was talking to the Bethesda guys, and the Bethesda guys basically said, in your game, you always want at least like 2 or 3 landmarks to be visible. Throughout the entire game, you can always see New Vegas in the distance, pretty much. Like wherever you are on the map, you can just always see the blinking lights of New Vegas, like going, "Come here, come here." And like, it's so cool that like you can go to New Vegas, but the straightest path to New Vegas is the most dangerous path. It's full of like death claws and stuff.
Yeah,
so the best way to go is actually just to go down towards like Prim, and that and going down that path gives you more of like a story of like that pushes forward the story. So it's like it gives you options on how you want to choose to play, but it also like caters to people who want to play different styles, which is really interesting.
Yeah, it naturally funnels you the way it wants you to go, unless you've played it enough to know that how to get through the other ways. There's several ways you can do it quite easily. You just need to know what you're doing. But that is a good way to separate the map, because a big problem with Fallout 3 is that map locations were all over the place. You had some like
there was
really
nothing to do.
low
Like
level.
Fallout 4?
Yeah, I'd say like Fallout 4, but in particularly Fallout 3, you had like low level early places that are right at the edge of the map next to extremely difficult ones.
Oh, right, okay. They don't think about how people would move around.
I guess they didn't. Like,
Okay.
other than leaving the vault and you're put straight in front of Megaton, which I missed on my first playthrough.
You missed Megaton on your first playthrough. Did you just Did you just go straight to the school full of like mines and
stuff? I went
stuff?
straight to the school.
Okay.
Yeah, in Springvale.
Fair enough.
Because I just didn't see it.
But I think that is one thing they did good, where I actually gave Bethesda props, where I was like, making sure you can see Megaton, like from the vault. Dave obviously couldn't see it.
No, but there are.
Or like
Ten
Penny Tower
you can see for most of the map, or you can see the Washington Mall with Washington Monument and that, and the Capitol building.
So this was what Bethesda dev said to Obsidian dev.
Which is why like you can always see New Vegas. Like that's a big reason.
I guess Bethesda have good ideas from time to time. I guess they had good ideas back in the past, right?
Another thing about this game is they changed the charisma system, which is quite big from Fallout 3. So in Fallout 3, charisma increases your chance to win a speech check, basically. But even if you have high charisma, you can fail that speech check and it can change the game.
It's bullshit.
But the really interesting thing about New Vegas is you can do speech checks based on skills. So if you have high enough medicine, you can do a special speech check. Or I went in the wrong room. I wasn't.
Right.
I
okay.
didn't know I wasn't supposed to be in there. I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
no, you need permission to be in there.
I was like, I'll just quickly load a save. I didn't read that sign that says invitation only. So I was like, okay, I'll leave here then, so I don't get in trouble. So this is Gamora. This is one of the casinos in New Vegas. Because I said again, getting to New Vegas is really interesting because there are several ways to get into New Vegas. Because you can walk there, sure, but you can't just walk into New Vegas. There is several ways. So one of the ways is you can go to the town nearby. What's it called? Freehold?
Freeside.
Freeside. And you can buy a passport because you need a passport system in order to get in.
No, you can buy a forged passport.
Yes, or you can buy a forged passport to get in. Or if you're like me and you do a lot of quests for the NCR, you can use the NCR's train to go to New Vegas.
You don't even need to do quests for them. You just need to use the faction disguises, which is another great thing in the game.
You can be
And also
disguised as
kind
a
of breaks
faction.
Oh wait, it has disguises. Oh
yeah.
my god! Wait, what? That's brilliant.
So if you're like being Legion and you want to get into an NCR base, you can put on NCR armor and walk on because they won't know that you're not NCR because you're in disguise.
Only certain
yeah.
like members of the NCR can see through like that faction disguise, basically. But it's kind of broken when you're talking to someone, you're doing quests for them, and they're really grateful for it, and then you put a disguise on in front of them, and then you shoot on sight immediately.
Yeah.
You're very good at disguising yourself. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, that and
in a way
you can
I
forget
think,
to take it off a lot. Which
yeah. I just feel like maybe that should be like attached, like what do you call it? Like a stat, like a charisma roll or something. Well, not
yeah,
a roll, but
charisma's kind of a dump stat in this.
if
Kind of
charisma
useless.
had like a
if you
better
go companion
disguising, that'd be
build, Dave,
cool.
it's a very, very good build.
If a man doing companion and disguises, that'd actually be pretty cool.
Charisma is not useless though. Like it is still
No.
Charisma. It gives your companions like more damage, and also there's legit really big speech checks still in this game that you can only pass with like 100 speech. So like charisma is very useful to have.
Yeah, but because speech and charisma aren't the same thing, you don't need to.
Yeah, you don't need charisma, but charisma helps you get more points in the speech skill, which is important. Another thing that was big about this game when it comes to stats is you can get implants from the doctor, which can boost stats.
Yeah, they're basically their version of bobbleheads, but
yeah,
can't have like one for each. It's capped to your level of endurance.
But you can get more endurance through your special perk, and that way you could do
it. Yeah, if you use intense training, you could, but you can't just get the endurance perk, endurance implant, and get another one. Yeah,
the endurance implant. Every time you do a quest, there's a wiki article that will say this quest means you can't do this quest if you don't do this quest and this order. There's like so many consequences to doing certain quests certain ways because there's so many different ways the game can go. It's insane.
Wait, your actions have consequences in an RPG?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can completely lock off like one half of the game. Well, not but like a lot of the game just by siding with a different faction sort of thing. Like the big factions are the NCR and
they're the two main warring factions, and then we started talking about all the side factions.
I didn't talk about all of them because there's some in this game that you kind of discover. I'm trying to find out more information from this prostitute. It's a quest, guys. Trust me.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Dave can confirm it's a quest.
Yeah,
but I also want the well rested bonus, Dave. So you get bonus XP if you sleep with people in New Vegas. This is the only reason why I'm doing this, of course.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
And also, with the mods I installed, I legit couldn't sleep in my game. So this is legit the only way I could sleep. Just the mods broke the ability to sleep.
Okay.
But it's fine because you can wait in non-hardcore. I was playing non-hardcore because it's my first playthrough. You could probably play hardcore in your first playthrough though, and make it a
Yeah,
lot more
that's what I
interesting.
was telling you to do that because it doesn't make that much of a difference. It doesn't make it harder.
Well,
You can't wait.
well, actually, like in that way, Fallout 76 is already like a sort of more hardcore game because that immediately has like food and drink stuff levels that
Yeah.
you and like your sleep levels and stuff. So that is an
Well,
interesting
that's
thing
what
to
I was
look at.
going for it, so I think they kind of needed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think you die if you don't drink or don't eat food.
In New
Whereas in
Vegas hardcore mode.
no, in
Oh, 76.
Fallout 76. But this, if one of those stats or you don't sleep, that you gets right to the end of the bar, then you just
Yeah.
die. But it would be very hard unless you're deliberately trying to do that to not be able to drink some water and eat some food. You briefly mentioned the perks. I would want to say about passive perks that you get just by doing stuff, not by leveling up.
Oh, you mean doing
That's a good idea.
challenges?
Yeah, like there's challenges in the game,
Yeah.
and some of them will provide you with perks.
Yeah. So if you
So
kill
if
enough
you kill
like
a lot of things,
abominations,
you'll
you'll
get
get
good at
like
killing those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like, does it like tell you like on like in the tree like you need to do this to unlock it, or like is
there's
it,
like a challenge
like, how do you
tab.
know?
Yeah, there's a little pop
Okay,
up in the
okay.
corner saying
Yeah.
you've done this many.
Yeah,
And we haven't even gone
that's
to
a
the
really good
most
idea.
we haven't even gone to the most important things, traits. You can have a
Yeah,
trait
well,
called Wild Wasteland that completely changes a lot of the game. Because basically what they said when they made New Vegas was when they did the previous game, some people liked the wacky stuff and some people wanted a more serious game. So they were like, well, if we make a
Right.
perk called Wild Wasteland, if you have this
then they
on,
can put all the wacky stuff
yeah,
they
they can put all
wanted
the
in it.
wacky
That's
stuff in.
basically comes out from Fallout 1 and 2.
Yeah.
A lot of the sequel Fallout 2 got a lot of criticism because of all the pop culture references and the wacky stuff, whereas Fallout 1 was so just depressing and not have any of this stuff. So it's a good idea to have that as a trait. But traits are also back from the original games, whereas
Yeah.
they were just completely overlooked in Fallout
Traits that
3.
have positives and negatives. They're
Yeah.
actually a choice
Yeah.
rather than just
Trade-offs.
straight up positive sort of thing. So, which is nice to see. I prefer like my role playing game to force me to make tough decisions rather than
Yeah.
Pokemon,
Or at least,
which
or
is
maybe not necessarily tough, but like interesting at the very least, right?
Well, yeah, it varies your gameplay.
let's
Like,
let's
and it's a
briefly.
shame you could only have two. I just want to mention that they should have gone so far as, like in the first two Fallouts, to have traits you pick up after like doing certain actions. So, like if you kill
like
the
an
child,
experience-based thing,
You
as in
can't
not
kill
like an
children,
XP bar.
Dave. You can't
yeah,
do that.
unfortunately you can't do that anymore. But if you killed a child in the old one,
Yeah.
you were hated, and that was just a trait you picked up, and stuff like that you could just get by
That's
your actions,
that's good role
not
playing.
something you choose.
Action-based action traits.
Yeah.
I
Or
love a lot of
consequences.
I love a lot of the characters in this game. I think one of my favorite characters has to be Boone, who is a companion you will get pretty early on if you go to the path it pushes you towards. I think Boone's story is probably one of my favorite in the whole of New Vegas, and Boone's quest is what made me fall in love with New Vegas.
Yeah,
it's a pretty early on quest, so I'll just explain that quest, and then because that's the moment I knew I wanted to play New Vegas. So if you hear it, maybe you'll go, "Okay, that's fucking cool." So there's a character called Boone, and he's a sniper, and he's watching over this town called Novak, which is basically like a giant dinosaur thermometer in is like a giant landmark that you can see around the world, and it's like a big hotel, basically town, and he's guarding over it. And you've heard that he has information you need in order to find out who shot you. So one of the things he's basically said, because he's like ex-NCR, which is like we talked about before, the New California Republic. And
you talked about why he was ex-NCR because he became disillusioned after the
genocide.
Yeah.
Bitter Springs is again. It just ripples throughout the entire game, and it will like, depending on who you speak to, will completely change your perception on certain factions. And his quest is basically somebody sold his wife into slavery to the Legion. Because if you don't know, the Legion, their big thing is they take slaves. Wherever they go, they have like a Roman ideology, and they go and they conquer, and they take slaves of everyone that they can. And Boone's basically he's I don't know if he's found out, or he has a suspicion that somebody in Novak sold his wife into slavery, and he wants you to take them outside the dinosaur where he's guarding, and then put on his hat to signal that that's the person that sold his wife into slavery, and then he's going to shoot them to get his revenge. Now, this is what I know. I love New Vegas. You can talk to anybody in Novak without knowing anything and say, "Hey, come stand come stand with me outside by the dinosaur." You can get up to shoot anyone if you want to. That's what I was like. Okay, this game is fucking awesome. Like, you literally don't have to do any detective work if you want to. You can just get Boone to shoot anyone. But then there's actual like detective work and talking to all of the people in Novak, and you eventually discover who really did it, sort of thing. So
yeah, there's a few ways you can get the information as well.
You could kill Boone if you wanted to.
Yeah, that's what I was going to talk about next. My favourite quest, probably the most broken quest in the game, but Beyond the Beef, which is the White Glove Society, which is one of the
I love that one.
Together, and it is so complex and open-ended, I would say. There's just so many ways you can do it, but one of the ways is you can take one of your companions and have them be eaten.
Shall we just go into... Basically, there's a White Glove Society, and it's one of the casinos, and everyone in there wears masks, and it's a really, like, old hat society. Some people are saying there's rumours that it's run by ghouls, and that's why everyone wears masks. And there's lots of, like, rumours that apparently, historically, the White Gloves were cannibals. They ate people. And whenever you talk to people, they're like, "No, we don't do cannibalism anymore. We're not cannibals anymore." And basically, you uncover this plot that some of the people inside the White Glove Society are trying to get the White Glove Society to go back to eating people again. And there's even more layers on the quest, because there's also like a meat baron whose son is involved in this as
barons, which, when you get into that, you learn about all the corruption of the NCR and the bureaucracy of it.
Yeah,
and it's just so holistic and great.
Yeah, honestly, there's so much to talk about. I can't wait to go through and do a Legion playthrough, because I did my mostly NCR wildcard play. I am going to play it again.
Okay.
I'm thinking about like maybe even 100%ing the game at some point, because I think I've got quite a lot of achievements.
Yeah, you were close to there, and there's a lot of funny things you can do, but you wouldn't be able to do them all in one playthrough.
Yeah, because some of the achievements are just basically locked behind certain actions you take. So you will have to do different playthroughs, or at least use saves, sort of thing. I could honestly just go in and talk about every individual quest.
There's so much to talk about. You don't really know where to start. Like, we've not even really touched on the main quest,
and we haven't even touched on the DLCs, which are for the most part fucking amazing. My personal favorite is Dead Money. Dave's personal favorite is Old World Blues, right?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of both of those, and I think The Divide is an amazing way to end the game. If you're playing this for the first time with the DLC, I would say don't touch The Divide until you've pretty much finished the game. That's another interesting thing about this.
I would say touch it, but touch it at an early level and understand, because The Divide, like all of the other DLCs, they lock you out. Once you go there, you have to finish it to come back.
Yeah.
But not The Divide. The Divide makes you want to turn back, and Ulysses is a character we're not going to really talk about without getting into spoilers, is your antagonist for it, and he's always telling you to go back.
Mm-hmm. But because like the way it's designed is just incredibly hard and unfair. A lot of the content in The Divide, like.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I was like let's just say I'm like a max level character with like some of the best in slot stuff, and I'm getting my ass handed to me in the Divide. So that's just show you how hard it can be. But yeah, my personal favorite DLC was
Dead Money.
Dead Money because it came to me at a point in the game. I think I was around like level 25 or something. It's one of the few DLCs where you actually a lot of the DLCs will let you bring stuff in with you, and then not come back until you finished it. With Dead Money, you basically have to start again. You're not allowed to bring any items with you, and the Dead
right.
Money is basically Fallout immersive sim. It's like playing like a System Shock or a Bioshock inside Fallout, and that's just like my dream. Like I fucking love that sort of stuff where you're literally like scavenging around for chips to spend on vending machines in order to help you get through this like irradiated casino. Oh, it's really good. I think it's
Yeah,
My
that sounds
issue
amazing.
was it wasn't difficult enough. Like it does take
it
everything
is
off
quite
you and make you
difficult.
start again,
Mm.
but then it throws like everything you need back at you quite early on.
And that's
I would
another
like
interesting thing as
more of a
well, is a
challenge.
lot of the same characters appear in the DLC and even a little bit in the main story as well. They're quite well woven into each other. So if you like run into a character in the DLC, you may run into another character who knows them in the main game, or you might run into a character in the main game that knows someone in the DLC. Like they're actually quite well thought ahead with this sort of stuff when it comes to the DLC. But the DLC's
Yeah,
definitely
that
well. The
makes sense.
DLC is like fucking amazing on its own. They could be like standalone games almost.
Oh,
And
really?
all
Very good.
apart from Honest Hearts, apart from the character of Joshua Graham, who should have honestly been in the main story, and there should have been more Legion stuff. I think that one was a bit weak in
I think
terms.
he was meant to be in the main game,
Hmm,
but all the Legion stuff is just absent
yeah,
because they ran out of time.
because for the most part, because all the Legion stuff you kind of see, it's pretty much you only know them as like brutal slavers, but it's not until you get to know them that you learn more about what their actual ideals and stuff are. But there's just not enough content to be covered. It's the big criticism from me from New Vegas is there's not enough of it. There's not enough Legion
There needs
content
to
Yeah.
be
in it.
more.
Yeah, we need a New Vegas too. We got Obsidian
Yeah,
Bethesda in the same
that's true. That's
company
true.
now, so
The only hope.
we would hope for a remastered New Vegas because honestly, the amount of
Yeah.
mods you have to install just to get this thing to run is kind of crazy. So
And
Yeah,
imagine how
and
good it
the
would look as
amount
well.
that not just the amount that didn't get finished for the game, but the amount that was cut
yeah,
for accessibility options, because the really big problem was consoles that they
mm,
just couldn't get it to run on consoles. Like you've seen how it runs on PC, so you can understand that it was just not working. So they had to go in and butcher
mm,
like half of the game just to get it to run, and it's like it's one of my favorite games, but it's such a massive disappointment because you can see it's
yeah,
blatant what it could have been
yeah.
if
It could have been
some
the best game
factors.
ever.
Well, it's still maybe, but it could have been better.
It could have been even better than the best
Well,
Yeah.
I
game.
think it's safe to say New Vegas will be up there, one of my favorite games of all time now. So it's high praise from me indeed. I think it's
That is very high praise.
if it was on my radar when we did games of the decade, definitely New Vegas would have been on there. I mean,
Yeah.
came out around what was it, 2011?
2011,
I
I think.
think. Isn't that around the time when Skyrim came out as well?
Yeah. I thought this
Yeah,
came out 2010 though.
it probably was 2010.
Hmm. So,
Yeah, I guess it still makes it. I don't know. I
Yeah,
think I found it.
2010, October 19th.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so much cool stuff to go into about this game, but we have to talk about Fallout 76 because
We have
I've got my contract obligation. I'm only allowed to talk about New Vegas for half an hour, and I have to talk about Fallout
It's
76.
been half an hour already.
Yeah, we could go on.
Yeah.
All right, do you want me to take this? All right, so
Yes,
Fallout
please do.
76 is a game, guys.
We've
Thank you
got
very
it.
much for watching.
We've got it,
Tangerine.
guys.
We'll see you next time.
Goodbye. No, you have to put more, Dave. Like okay. I kind of interested in talking about this. I don't have any context. So I have. I am not gonna get this game. I'm not gonna play this game. I have no
Right.
interest in this game.
No,
Can
I
you
don't
explain to
mind
me what you
talking
like
about
from
it,
it?
but it just seems a shame to talk about it after talking about New Vegas.
A
But
massive.
my
I know
problem,
we decided this was the order of things, but
well, I wanted to
God,
talk
where
about the
do you
good game
start?
first. I mean,
Yeah.
the big thing for me is when I played 76, I just played like 120 hours of New Vegas. So I came into this and I was like, oh, I played the good game, and then I'm playing this one. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is what people were talking about before.
The only good thing is it, I guess, has better graphics.
Well, they're not even that much better. Well, they're better from New Vegas,
From
but
But
New
they're
they're not
not
Vegas,
much
yeah.
better than
from
Fallout 4.
You're
4. But
absolutely
there's a
right. Like, it
massive
looks like
lighting
4.
overhaul.
Not
just
not against my mods, I can tell you that
No,
much.
against vanilla Fallout
Against
4.
vanilla, sure, but
And
not
then the
against the mods
graphics are
I'm
the
running.
same. It's just the lighting that's really different, and it just makes
Well,
the
they
world look
turned it
different,
up
and it
like to
makes it
ridiculous
pretty.
level in some areas, right?
Yeah.
I would say,
I
like,
would, should we go through like pros and cons of the game?
yeah, okay.
Start with the pros. It'd be shorter.
Okay,
Okay, so graphics kind of better.
graphics pro, lighting pro.
Okay,
Radio's
map
pretty
size.
good. Map
Yeah, map
size
size. Like I heard it was
pro.
4 times the size and maybe 16 times the detail, but I don't know where I'm getting that from.
Todd, is that
But
you?
it's a lot bigger. Like
And it runs like
Does it
shit as a result in
Yeah, can
big
I have a
places.
question? Does it have dungeons still?
yeah,
Yeah,
it
it has like
it has like
mines. Mines are a
instances.
big thing in New
Right.
Appalachia.
Is that
Buildings you go
loading
inside.
screen though?
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And that is locked off from people who
Can
aren't in
I
your party.
can I just have like I just wanna we just saw the Pip-Boy menu screen there for a second. Is in New Vegas, don't the actual physical buttons actually do something to the menu?
not that I know of.
Like, wasn't that how you were switching between the 3 different tabs in New Vegas? Like, you have the 3 like big red buttons.
No, I wasn't pressing any
I
buttons.
don't remember like animations for you actually pressing the buttons,
No.
but that is what they
Okay,
would be
okay.
there for.
Oh, there's Great Wild
It's like
Wasteland.
the
There's Great Wild Wasteland content where you can upgrade your Pip-Boy in New Vegas to get the Pimp Boy. It's like a
Yeah,
diamond
Pimp
blinked
Boy
out
3000.
version of it. Just as a side note. I thought we were doing pros and cons. Cons.
Oh, right, yeah. Sorry.
well,
Perk cards.
multiplayer is the last pro, I reckon.
I don't like the
no,
perk
wait,
card
wait,
system
wait,
because
wait.
it replaces a better system.
Pro building. I think building is good in this.
Yes and no. Like you've got more choice of where to build, but what you can build is severely.
Yeah, I think you've actually got more to build in 4, but less
Yes, I would
places to
say
build in
yeah.
4.
You want to hear like the funniest thing? As much of a meme as like Fallout New Vegas Nuclear Winter mode was, they're removing it because not a lot of people played it. I played the Nuclear Winter mode while I was waiting for. I think I was waiting for you to join us.
The Battle Royale.
The Battle Royale mode.
Yeah.
I played it.
Yeah.
I had way more fun playing it than the main game. So I don't know what that says about the Battle Royale mode, but there's actually unique perk cards just for Nuclear Winter. It's not like a half-baked idea. They actually put good ideas into the Nuclear Winter Battle Royale mode in this game, and it's such a shame that it didn't do so well.
You say it's not just a half-baked idea. What you're saying is it's a half-baked idea with some good ideas on top of it.
Well, I would say it's a rushed idea. It was at the time that
I feel like
everyone
it
was
looks
getting
rushed,
their
but
battle
okay.
royale game mode
Yeah.
out.
They even
everyone
have
was doing it.
they have a vault, and they have a specific story of the vault. Is an overseer would be picked by like having a massive battle, and that it does fit into the experimental vault idea of the Fallout universe, where they were just experimenting on everyone, and yeah, like it makes sense. And there are builds where you can there are builds where because the circle in the Battle Royale mode Nuclear Winter is a wall of radiation. So you actually have to manage your radiation as well, and there's ghoul cards you can get where you can get healed by radiation, and you can go there's a thing called ghoul build. I was playing with my friend Matt, and we basically made quick friends with a random person in a lobby, and he was basically just teaching us everything about Nuclear Winter, and he was saying he never played it before he heard they were going to remove it, and then he started playing again, and he fell in love with it basically again. And so we just played a bunch of it, and like there's like power armor builds you can do for it, and yeah. We're doing a video about Fallout 76, and I'm talking about nuclear winter because it's the most interesting thing in the game, and they're removing it. So,
well, we get to the cons at some point. Like, do you want to get onto that or?
Cons. The game,
There's
a
a
lot
of them.
of the game is designed for you to be played in single player. It seems like.
What do you mean? Oh, you mean like going into dungeons and things, like
the
it's not,
questing,
party based.
like
kind of-
Yeah.
You can like do quests at the same time, but then there's like instance areas where you can't do it at the
whenever
same
you
time.
go into an instance, you cannot progress
your instance
your
of that
story
quest.
or your
Yeah.
instance of it without being the
What?
party leader, which is
How did they
it's a
fuck
bizarre.
up?
So when I'm playing with my 3 friends, my option is to either not play with them and do it by myself simultaneously,
Or we all go there
we all
together,
watch we
and then
watch
take
someone do the
turns.
quest. Yeah, it's really dumb. And also, it wasn't because I was like, you probably can't listen to someone else has the conversations, and I was just sitting there waiting for them to have the conversation. I found out that
so
you can
stupid.
listen in to other people's conversations, but you can't choose options. And there's still like skill-based options as well. So there's like, if you have high enough, charisma, you can say you can make it a different option to someone else, and it's like. And if you're trying to do your quests along with your friends, if they make different options, they can have a different quest as a result. We were doing a quest where you basically had to go to a camp, and there was a treasure inside a vault. You had to go speak to someone called Crane or something. Crane's treasure or something. It's one of the early
You
You
quests.
have to find him.
Yeah.
It's such a wasted, because how difficult would it have been?
But-
to, I don't know, like a vote for like an
Yeah,
option
that would be
or
a great
something. That'd be
idea.
so cool.
And basically, we and Dave decided to talk to the people and then side with them, and to make it easier. But then my friend Matt, he accidentally shot one
I
of
had
them.
a little accent. No, he didn't shoot them. He just didn't go to the intercom to speak to them
Yeah,
and ask to come in. He just pressed the open door big red button, and they started killing them. While me and Joe were friendly, and we just waltzed in and spoke to the leader of the bandits, whereas Matt was still outside taking care of them by the time we were done.
there is
I
like
don't think it affected it too much, because then he just had to do the exact same stuff as us anyway.
yeah,
So yeah.
and then like
Well,
later
someone
on.
said, they did it in a lazy way. That's why.
Later on, because we decided to split the treasure, the guy does come and is like, what was the treasure? Give me the split. And then there's several options you can do to like say like either, hey, the loot wasn't very good, and you can pass like a charisma check and say, oh, okay, or you can say like, there's nowhere to split a gun, or you can like fight in and stuff like that.
Or you could just give it to him.
Yeah.
'Cause
Is there only
you're not
charisma
lying
checks?
when it said no. There are different checks. There's intelligence
Okay.
checks. There's checks for all
There's
the
skill-based
special-
checks from like New Vegas.
Well, I wouldn't say skills, because
Okay.
there's no skills anymore.
perk
which is-
cards, kills.
There's perk cards. Well, they're not.
So let's
perks, they're perk cards.
explain how special works in 76, because it's pretty interesting. So when you level up one of the specials, so strength, perception, endurance, whatever, right? And that gives you a card for that. And each card has a number value, and you can have as many cards on that slot as levels you have in that. So there's certain cards that will have like 2, and then you need like 2 points in it. Let's say
I
like
see.
so if you have like 2 levels in endurance, you could put a level 2 card on that slot, or you could put 2 level 1 cards on that slot. That's how the perk card system works, which is, I'd say, it's probably like one of the most controversial things Fallout 76 did in terms of like the way it changed the game.
I thought it was like controversial, but I thought it went down okay with like the general, like the normal users.
Well, the problem is you can put points into what you kind of want to do, but then you randomly get a card, and then you kind of just have to use that. And then they also have a microtransaction store where you can buy fucking stuff. So, can you directly purchase perk cards, Dave?
No.
You can directly purchase caps. You can directly purchase like in-game stuff. Like there is like
Yeah, there's like repair kits.
Yeah.
Because they
God.
said for the longest time it's just going to be cosmetic, and then they made repair kits, which means you could repair your weapon like in the middle of a fight.
If you have
See,
the Fallout pass thing, you can have multiple camps, like more camps and stuff, and you get like free
That's
perks.
like pay money for that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I was gonna say
obscene
that
amount
with
of
like
money.
the card system, that sounds like it'd be a really cool thing to add on top of like a really like in-depth like trait and like stat system, not replacing.
Because I'm saying
Well,
like
there's no stat system since like
Oh
Fallout
no, they
4.
they've
They got
gutted it
rid
like
of
since 4.
which, yeah, it kind of makes sense because that's like old school pen and paper RPG.
No, I really like the stat system. Like
I
I
liked
miss the
it
stat
as well,
system now that I like
but
actually
my
can
it
biggest-
live
makes
without
sense to try something different.
because my biggest biggest thoughts with like Fallout 4 and 76 is they're pretty good FPSs. They're just bad RPGs. That is like
yeah,
the
well,
best
they're
thing.
terrible
world
RPGs,
Yeah.
and they're only good FPSs because they
Yeah,
are
I'll say,
really
like,
nicely to id
that-
for some help.
Yeah, like they're better than like Fallout New Vegas and 3 as FPSs, I guess, but they're still like they're not like good FPSs by themselves. Otherwise, they'll still hold up.
Yeah, so I can't say like I hate Fallout 76 because I've only played about
Like
20.
I do.
I've only played like 20 hours,
Okay.
and basically I started playing 76 after I'd played so much of New Vegas that I feel like I need a break from it. And
Yeah, you kind of wore yourself out with completing like
I'm
a
looking at this and just
100-hour
seeing-
plus playthrough of New Vegas and then moving on to this.
it was so
Yeah,
disappointing.
that's going to be a shock to the system. But I just look at this and just see like a worse experience than Fallout 4. Like I would rather play Fallout 4 than this.
Yeah,
The thing that
but I
annoys
see
me,
the appeal is multiplayer. Like, if you
Oh
wanna play
yeah,
Fallout 4,
100%. But like,
you
if
can
the
play it
multiplayer
with
doesn't
your mate.
work how I want it to work, like doing the same quest at the same time, like what's the point?
the thing that annoys me
Yeah.
is whenever people say, because a lot of people have been saying, "Oh, Fallout 76 is good now," and a lot of the people the reason they've been
I'm
saying
incredibly dubious
is
about
because
that. It's less bad. I'll
No.
say that.
they've been saying that on the caveat that it's better than Fallout 4. They've been saying, guys, give it a chance, it's better than Fallout 4. It's like, but that's such a low bar in the first place to be like, it's
I don't
better
even agree
than
with
Fallout
that, though.
4.
I don't even agree with that. So
I don't
I
know.
would say 76 today is better than Fallout 76 when it launched. That's all I'm willing to accept. Whether that's good enough for you to play, I mean, cool. But I'm looking at this and going, I'd rather play Fallout 4.
Yeah, no, I get that, but I went into it thinking I wouldn't really like it, but I can see the appeal of it, and I would play more of
Okay,
it.
how about I
But
would absolutely love more RPG multiplayer RPGs, like co-op multiplayer RPGs.
I don't want
Yeah,
an
like,
online
more of
service
those games
RPG.
exist.
I want a co-op RPG.
No.
Yes. And oh my god, like they're just yeah. If this was a co-op game, imagine how many copies they would have sold. Like, oh my god.
If this was a competent game, imagine how many copies they would have sold.
Yeah.
If they didn't make so many baffling choices.
The problem is, though, we can't say like
small devs.
the problem is that it was literally like a really small team in Austin that Bethesda gave the entire franchise.
Yeah,
to.
but this is like one of their main 2 IPs. They're not gonna go without any oversight. They're gonna have a lot of control.
No. There was
what goes into it.
Well, the rumor basically is the reason they rushed Fallout 76 was because they wanted to get it out.
Yeah, they want a live service out there.
They wanted to get. They wanted to get out a multiplayer Fallout game. Like, hey, this is a big thing that we can have out there before the Microsoft acquisition, because they wanted to use that as a bargaining chip to get a better deal. Which is why they rushed Fallout 76. This is like a rumor.
That's really dumb. That's even more dumb than I thought it would be. Okay.
Yeah. So, because apparently that's been in talks for a while. So
yeah, that's true.
I don't know. It's a huge fucking map. I just don't want to do anything in it. I mean,
yeah, it's
well, I thought 4 was big enough.
The breadth of an ocean and the depth of a puddle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
I thought
lacking the
Fallout 4's back
substance.
was too big. I'm gonna be honest.
I've
Yeah,
given
it was the same problem. It was very big, but there wasn't a lot in it.
I've given this game a second chance after hearing it's been improved since launch, which it has, but at the best right now it's a mediocre game, I will say.
Yes,
Yeah.
I would agree with that. I can see potential in it though. There's some simple choices that could make the game like
Okay.
so much better for me. Like actually enjoyable.
I'm
Like
gonna come
have
back.
a PvP system where
Yeah.
it's not stupid. Like even that change alone, I think, would make it like worthwhile. for me
Well,
to
you
play
can
it
now
again.
have custom servers if you pay
Yeah,
£100 a year and
but
set your
I'm
own
not really
rules.
sure what happens with these custom servers because that does give a lot of promise to it. Like you could, why couldn't you have a custom server playing the Nuclear Winter game mode?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But I don't know. Like it's a ridiculous amount of money, but
They
it's a
should
live
allow
service,
custom servers
not a
to
multiplayer
people
game.
to make and install mods for this, but they would never do that because they're like, we don't want people to enjoy the
there were
game without
plans at
paying
one
into the
point.
live service.
Yeah.
Well,
There
they
were
could.
plans that, like, if you had like the £100 one, you could then mod it, but they never.
No, they wouldn't do that. They would let you have like a version for Creation Club and pay for your mods.
Yeah, that's probably what they're actually saying, but I don't think they've even done that yet. So
No, because they've got the Atomic Shop. Why would they need to pay?
well,
Like,
because
why would
they
they
wanted to
pay out
they
a
wanted to
third
make the
party?
yearly pass more appetizing.
Yeah, but they can keep
Because
adding
then
assets
it's like
from Fallout
recurring
4,
revenue.
which is a lot of the Atomic Shop is a lot of assets or things that were in
Oh
the
yeah,
previous game that they're just moving over and
oh
charging money
yeah,
for.
yeah.
I like the radio. Goodbye, everybody.
Radio is good.
Yeah.
New Appalachia Radio is pretty good. I like the Beach Boys. That's a
Yeah,
big
Beach
positive
Boys
for the
good.
game.
Ring of Fire, not so much.
No, the Ring of Fire
skip on
cover's
that one. Big
trash.
classic for a bit.
That's a thumbs down from me, guys. That's a down vote on Reddit. Epic Gamer Moments, Ariana Grande concert in Fortnite. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
BTS is a band.